Hey, it's Rosemary here. How you doing? Okay, we live in a world where a huge proportion of the people on the planet live in poverty. And even you may be doing okay, but really you have just about enough. You couldn't really call it abundance, except when you compare it to the lot of people on the other side of the world or something. And so you may read the title of this video, abundance is your birthright and that of everyone on the planet. And you might think that as much as you want to believe it, it doesn't seem to be true. And I don't want to diminish the hardship that many face on the planet because it is real. And yet I know that it doesn't have to be that way. The problem is that you don't know that. And so you live a life that keeps you small and keeps them small as well. Because what you're doing in your life does have an impact on the planet as a whole. When you buy into lack, honey, you do just about enough to get financial resource for you and for yours, and that's it. And so you continue to propagate the illusion of lack all over the planet. After all, you had to work pretty damn hard to get just enough for you and yours to get by. And so how on earth can abundance be your birthright, or anyone else's for that matter, you might say? It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. And so, you feel you have to live by the rule of that life. You believe that you only get yours by taking from someone else because you think there's a finite amount of resources. And so if you're the holy type, religious type, you don't want to take too much out of the whole, do you? Because that diminishes what others have access to, and you don't want to be greedy. You just need to take what you need, you tell yourself. And I tell you that whether you realize it or not, you're living a very selfish life, actually. One where you're mostly concerned with getting just about enough for you. Yes, you can tell yourself that you're not being greedy, but that it's only but that's only because you're operating in a world where there's not enough for everyone. And I tell you again, that's not true. There is more than enough for everyone. But the problem is that everyone doesn't know it. And so they are continually propagating a world where there is not enough. All your actions, as already explained, do just enough to get by because you tell yourself that you're being good and content with what you have. What a nonsense. And a selfish nonsense at that, okay? When you do just enough to get by, you're not tapping into the abundance within you. And if everyone acts like you're acting, then yes, we do get a world where lack is everyone's birthright. Do you begin to see a little bit of what I'm trying to say here? Within each human being is the ability to create something out of what can feel like nothing. It's just like, Facebook was created out of nothing. One day there was nothing there, and the next day Mark Zuckerberg birthed an idea to connect the world. Facebook was born. Cars were birthed out of nothing. One day there were no cars. And then Henry Ford or some other person that did it decided to kind of take that idea of a moving vehicle out of their head and make it a reality. And voila, we have cars. Okay? There are innumerable examples of this in the world, and there will continue to be as long as there are even a small number of people who live in abundance. They don't just see what is and try to make do with it. No, they see what could be, and out of the abundance within them, they create something. They create something more against overwhelming odds in some cases. I remember watching this video of bicycles being made out of paper or some kind of recyclable material that was accessible all over Africa. Okay, so that the people could then use those bicycles to get around cheaply and to transport their goods around so they could sell and all of that and provide for their families. I kind of forget the full details, although it's a video I shared on my page. And the thing is, she birthed this idea out of nothing. And that now empowers her people, okay? While others sat around kind of moaning about their lack and inability to get ahead in the world that they think is against them, this lady just found a solution that helped a lot of people. And one day it wasn't there, and the next day it was, because she came from a place of abundance. When you stop to consider the imagination and creativity of man, you begin to realize that if everyone would just stop whining and start doing the work they're born to do, this planet would literally burst with great ideas, and no one anywhere would ever need to experience lack. Why? Because abundance is the birthright of every single person on the planet. Okay, we're not there yet as a human race, and right now, I'm speaking just to you. Okay? Just to you, leader. Are you operating out of abundance or lack? Are you telling yourself that those ideas inside of you are impossible to birth because you just have to get by, do whatever it takes to put food on the table this month? Are you telling yourself to be practical and stop having your head in the clouds? After all, you have it pretty good compared to most, so why are you looking for more? So you say. Are you telling yourself to be content when everything inside of you screams for more? Are you telling yourself that you just need $10,000 a month and that is good enough because to get more would be taking it right out of someone else's hand and that would be greedy? Well, I'm telling you that all of the above is you being selfish. You thinking only of you when there is a world awaiting leaders like you to wake up and show them the way. Are you just thinking of you and yours? That is selfish, leader. But you know what? I'm all about the because I want to lifestyle. So hey, if that is all you want to do, then you get to live that way. Because freedom is your birthright as well. So there's no guilt or shame or anything like that. Do what you want. That's fine. It is your right to live that way. And I would even fight to defend your freedom. However, if you're done with this small way of living and you have a vision inside of you that wants to be birthed, if you're ready to create a first-class life of purpose that impacts millions and makes millions, then we need to work together, you and I, to get you away from this lack-based way of thinking and back to where you were when you were born. You knew back then that you could have whatever you wanted, okay? You simply asked and asked and asked for it until you got it. Unfortunately, you started to learn that you lived with other humans who believed it impossible for you to always have what you want. And so slowly, surely you took on their beliefs as your own. After all, they'd been doing this whole life thing longer than you, right? Well, now I call you back to the beginning, where you remember what it's like to truly believe that you can have whatever you want. Except this time, you're not dependent on anybody else to make it happen for you. This time you will take your ideas and desires into your hand and I will support you in making them happen. I will hold you accountable to changing your way of doing life from one of lack and scarcity, no matter how well off you may look at the moment, to one of abundance, deep down abundance. One where you get to do the work you feel called to do and charge for it. One where you create abundance for you and for yours and for the ones you are called to serve. Just imagine a world where leaders like you were all doing all of that. Imagine the impact that would have on the world as a whole. Could we all together end world hunger and any other atrocities that we see in the world today? I personally think so. And that is why I created the Deliberate Millionaire Fast Track Club for leaders who are ready to be part of this shift. And for us to work together, okay, you get to join the club first at dmfasttrack.com. And then once you join the club, I will send you an application at my diary. You'll book a more impact, more income consultation at a time that suits you, and we will talk. You will leave that talk with a personalized plan to get your ideas out into the world so you start changing things, okay? And we will also decide if we want to work closely together to see the fruition of your dream fast. Let's begin. Go now to dmfasttrack.com and join in, okay? It's time to fight for and to deliberately design the life you were born to live because you want to. Until the next time, bye.